Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Cincinnati Bengals, more specifically Joe Burrow, and going over what to expect from him in the 2021 season. But before getting to that topic, question for those of you viewing, where do you rank Bengals running back Joe Mixon amongst running backs in the league? You don't kind of give me an exact ranking of 8 or 11 or whatever it is. Just give me a decent range of top 8, top 10, top 12, and I'll give my answer at the end. Getting straight into it though, Joe Burrow, just for reference, played roughly 10 games last year. I don't know what you count the one he got hurt in because he didn't play the whole thing. But his QB record last year is 2-7-1. He put up right around 2,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Not the prettiest numbers, but given his circumstances, not the greatest coach, rough O-line, new young receivers, tough division, being a rookie, those are expected. And Joe Burrow was on pace to possibly compete for Rookie of the Year with Justin Herbert. So even though the numbers aren't prettiest looking at him today, at the time, Joe Burrow was balling out. He was confident in the pocket. He was looking like a franchise quarterback. So I wouldn't take all of his statistics for granted and use that and that only. As far as this year goes, not just looking at the numbers, the offensive line is going to get better. Getting Jonah Williams and Riley Rice together is going to be just a lot better than last year alone. Having a pretty solid tackle duo. In the draft, they added a guard and Jackson Carman in the second round and the tackle Deontay Smith in the fourth round. Do I expect Carman and Jackson to start, Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith to start right away? No, I do not. But do I think in time they could develop and really make a decent O-line for Joe Burrow? Yeah, like I said, I think having Rife and Williams together is already going to be a much better upgrade compared to last year. It's not going to be a top 5 O-line by any means, but I don't think we're going to see Joe Burrow, break his leg again, tear his ACL. I think he'll be protected the whole season, hopefully. Receiving room, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Auden Tate. I think in time that can be a top 3, top 5 receiving corp in the NFL. Today, I would hold them back from that status purely due to the fact that they're just so young. I think on paper you could argue that they are there today, but I just think they're so young. T. Higgins being in year 2, Jamar Chase being only year 1, Joe Burrow only going in year 2 to help him out. I think they're just too young to give him that type of title yet. Tyler Boyd, he's kind of the veteran amongst that receiving core, which is crazy because he's only been there a couple years himself. But in time, I do think it's going to be crazy. Backfield, Joe Mixon. I hope he's healthy because he is a special talent in the league. He has a lot of raw skill. He's just never healthy. He doesn't always have the best offensive line to create the holes he's looking for. He's kind of a patient back. He's a very finesse player. He's got some strength to him. He could go through some guys, but I do think he's got a small Le'Veon Bell type of style to him. Again, I like Joe Mixon. I just feel like something's always keep him out from being on the football field. Defense, I have some slight concerns. I like what they added this offseason. They got Trey Hendrickson, you got Mike Hilton, you have Trey Waynes. There's some special talent there. Of course, Jesse Bates, he's a top 3. Some people think is the best safety in the league. Von Bell right behind us, pretty solid as well. There's some specks of talent there. I just don't think it's as nearly as good as the offense, in my opinion. A couple other things holding them back, if I was forced to be a critic of them, was defense. I think it'll be better than last year, just given the additions of free agency, just given the addition of more reps on this team. That will hold them back ever so slightly because it's not going to be a top 10 defense. Zach Taylor, I think, could possibly hold them back. And just the schedule. Being in the AFC North, again, I'm not saying the Bengals defense is bad, but when you're playing the Steelers defense, which is top 5, Ravens defense, which is arguably top 5, Browns defense, which is the most improved in this offseason, you're not on par. That's for sure. You're not on par with the other defenses in your team, in your division, And, those offenses aren't anything to just brush off either. You play the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers, if he's there, that's going to be tough. Vikings defense, that's going to be tough. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Bears. I wouldn't be super concerned about Justin Fields. He's a rookie, but Joe Burrow doesn't have a lot of reps either, and the Bears defense is kind of scary. Lions, I'm not worried about Jared Goff in the slightest, but still, you can't brush off any game given the tough schedule the Bengals have to play. So there could be a couple things holding them back. But looking at Joe Burrow specifically, I know some people might think, why am I talking about the defense? They're not catching footballs from Joe Burrow. Well, the defense is obviously going to help manage the clock and control the pace of the game. If they're constantly down 35, Joe Burrow is going to be put in some sticky situations where they have to abandon the offensive game plan and just go 2-minute drills the entire time, forcing him to make big throws and just hoping for the best, which could mess with his stats and mess with how he does this year. But again, looking at his stats last year, 2,700 yards through 10 games, roughly. I personally think this year, 17 games, better offensive line, better weapons, Not a great defense, but a better defense to compare to last year. Hopefully Zach Taylor coaches his best year yet because he knows his job is on the line. I think he'd go from 2,700 yards to anywhere between 4,200 and 4,700. I know that's kind of a broad range, but there's a couple things holding me back. There's a couple things pushing me forward. I believe in Joe Burrow's raw skill and his pure talent. I believe in his arm. I believe in his weapons. I believe in his better protection, but I don't believe in his defense being able to, control the pace of the game week in, week out. I don't believe in Zach Taylor stepping up as much as I think he can. I'm not betting everything on it, and just being in the tough schedule and the tough division, I'm being pulled on both sides, and I don't know which way to go. Say Joe Burrow is going to throw 4,700 yards because I believe in him, but hold him back ever so slightly because I don't believe in what's around him. Touchdowns, 13 last year. I think this year I would predict probably, I'd say he at least doubles it in my opinion, just because of the more experience, more weapons, better protection, better schemes, hopefully. I'd say he pushes 33 to 36 touchdowns. I'd love to give him that 40 touchdown mark, but I don't see it happening in year 2 coming off an injury and just given the tough circumstances. I think 33 to 36 touchdowns is what I feel safe with. Got to figure Justin Herbert, a rookie last year, broke the rookie record, and he just threw for 31. Joe Burrow, I don't want to say he's a rookie in year 2, but he still doesn't have a full 16 games under his belt, so I do think there's still going to be some growing pains. I'd say probably 32 to 36, though, just because of weapons, and I do think he has a lot of pure talent. As far as interceptions go, I don't want to say he's a turnover machine, but 13 touchdowns to 5 interceptions is not the best ratio. I get it that he's a rookie, and that's honestly close to a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, so I can't knock it too much, but I don't think he's going to be under 10 picks this year. I think he'll be between 12 and 15 picks. Still a decent range for a young guy who's not on the greatest offensive game plan ever, yet still has some weapons and still has some talent to work with. So just to be clear, he's going from 2,700 yards to between 4,200 and 4,700 yards, an extra 2,000 yards, in my opinion. I think he's just got that talent. He was on pace to break the passing yards record last year as a rookie in 17 games. That is the biggest thing to me. That's almost an extra 250 to 300 yards to add to his season guaranteed, assuming he plays. 13 touchdowns, I think 233 to 36. It might even be a little high on that, but I believe in Burrow. And from 5 interceptions to 12 to 15. Again, I think he'll have pretty good numbers compared to this year. I think the win factor, the record factor, going from 2-7-1. I think the Bengals this year, another broad range, just because I don't know. It's such a tough team to really pinpoint how they're going to be. I think anywhere from 6-11 to 10-7. My more confident range would be 7-10 to 9-8 would be my more confined range I'd feel comfortable with, but I feel very confident if I could pick 6-11 to 10-7, but I'll stick with 7-10 to 9-8. I feel like there's a decent range. I don't expect them to make the playoffs this year, but I do think they could sit right around 500 to show maybe one more offseason, and we can be a playoff team. We just need an extra corner or an extra guard or whatever it is, an extra pass rusher. I like this team. I'm not a Bengals fan, but I do like Joe Burrow. It's hard to root against him. He seems like a good guy. Again, just give over my quick 2021 what to expect for Burrow. 4,200 to 4,700 yards, 7-10 to 9-8 record, 33 to 36 touchdowns, and 12 to 15 picks. Do you guys agree or disagree with me? Comment down below and let me know. You might be like me, where you're all faux Joe Burrow. You think he could throw 40 touchdowns, 4,500 plus yards, or you may think defense is going to hold him back. Zach Taylor is going to hold him back. New receivers, still not the most fantastic line ever, is going to hold him back, and he'll be under 3,500, under 30 touchdowns. I don't see that happening, but I get both arguments, or you could be like me, stuck in the middle. It just depends how these circumstances play out. I think the defense will be improved, but how improved? I think the coach will improve, but how much improved? I think the offensive line is improved, but how much improved? Too many question marks to answer today, and therefore I'm giving some ranges. And referring back to the question asked in the video, where do I rank Joe Mixon? If he's healthy, he's a solidified top 10 running back, in my opinion. It's just a factor of whether or not he is healthy. Like I said, I like his finesse style. I think he's still got some power to him. He's got some agility to him. He's got some elusiveness to him. We just need to see him be on the field more to pull all that off. You guys tell me, though, where do you rank him? As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.